Hey everyone, we'll be getting started shortly. We'll be getting started pretty soon.
Okay. Where's Barbara?
She is not here. Saida was calling her.
Oh, okay. What do you have 5 today? Okay. Hi, Michelle.
Saida, do you want to read the pre-meeting talking points while we wait on Barbara to hopefully join?
Absolutely. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the May 12th Street First Committee meeting. My name is Saida Harrigan, and I'll be moderating the technical aspects of tonight's meeting. A few notes for you, particularly if this is your first meeting with us, you'll notice that you are muted and unable to mute yourself. After we call your item, the co-chairs will call on members of the public who wish to speak and likely ask you a few questions about your application. You can be asked to be recognized by raising your virtual hand. You can do that by going to the reactions button at the bottom of your screen and selecting raise hand. It's important not to raise your physical hands and wave around at the screen because we may not be able to see you among the participants. If you are on the phone, you can raise your hand by pressing *9 and *6 to unmute. And once you're recognized by the co-chair, I will unmute you and you will be prompted to confirm unmuting on your device. The chat function is available for technical support only, not to ask questions of the co-chairs. You can send us a chat if you're having any issues and we can walk you through it. With that, I'll pass the mic over to our co-chair, Wilma Johnson.
The first item on the agenda is the Museum Mile Block 90. Is there a representative for this organization?
Yes, Emily Bacon is here.
Okay.
Yes. Hi. Hi. I'm actually going to pass any kind of questions over to my colleagues because I'm kind of just in charge of submitting the application.
Okay. Anybody from the public would like to ask the question?
We have Matt.
Presentation first.
Anybody?
Let's hear the presentation first before we go to the public.
Yes, that's for Matt Haight. You're unmuted.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Matt Hyde. I'm the rector.
Oh, I didn't know it was two people. Okay.
I'm Matt Hyde. I'm here, the rector of Church of the Heavenly Rest. I'm here with my colleagues, Anne-Marie Witchker, Taylor Johnson, and Emily Bacon. This application is for the evening of June 8th, and we want to have a street festival on 90th Street. And we've done this kind of thing in the past. We know, we think how to be a good neighbor in terms of both preparation and cleanup after. We'll make sure it's both safe in terms of COVID requirements and contained. Taylor Johnson has been leading our efforts for this and could speak further to the nature of the event.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for letting us be here today. So yes, as Matt said, we're preparing the street festival. There'll be a couple aspects to it. We're looking at safe and contained ways to provide food to the community. And there'll be a musical offerings as well. It'll be about 2 hours, so nothing too long. And we'll have art pieces as well to kind of honor the little bit of Museum Mile and participatory functions there too. So a little bit of everything. And as Matt said, good plans around how to keep people safe and invite the community in.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody have any questions asked this block?
I don't. Oh, I do see one raised hand from Michelle. Confirm unmuting.
Okay.
Would somebody
Michelle.
unmute me?
You're unmuted, Barbara.
No, I wasn't. It says I was muted.
Shall I go ahead?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so a couple of questions. What is the occasion for this festival?
It was, June 8th is traditionally the date when the Museum Mile Festival is held on Fifth Avenue. And we've been part of that for years because of where we are and both our location and we've been very engaged in the arts as a community.
Susie, can I just ask what we discussed since I'm supposed to be chairing it? I couldn't get on.
We're doing the Museum Mile now.
Oh, okay.
Block 90.
Thank you.
Barbara, we're on number 1, and I'm just asking some follow-up questions.
And so, as y'all know, the festival itself this year will be virtual. They've chosen not to hold it in person because of the different access levels in the museums. And so it's important to our community. We think it's important to the neighborhood. And so we're going ahead with a part to it that'll be on 90th Street.
Is that definite that it's going to be virtual? Because we were told they don't know yet.
Taylor.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So this is not a graduation. This is not a ceremony of any kind. This is just festivities that were originally meant to complement Museum Mile.
Exactly.
Can you elaborate a little more on your food services and your music?
Sure, Taylor.
You have to unmute Taylor. She's still muted.
Michelle, we got it.
Hi, sorry. Yes, so we have some great restaurant partners up in East Harlem that we're hoping will come down and provide one specific kind of offering per restaurant. To be cleaned and pre-prepared for folks to eat. And in terms of music, we have a great jazz trio or quartet that we'll use. We're still figuring out amplification, but nothing too crazy. The biggest thing would be that in the past, we've invited the Big Apple Gay and Lesbian Marching Band to come and participate in this with us. So we hope that they would come and perform for about 30 minutes towards the end of the event. They are quite loud, but it would be kind of intermittent for 30 minutes. And they also perform the Thanksgiving parade. So they have social distancing and safety measures in place from their experience doing that. And they have assured us that they have figured out how to do this all safely within COVID guidelines.
So let me just follow up about the amplification. You know you need a permit for that. And if the marching band is loud, then you probably won't need amplification for them.
No, not for them.
There are garages on your street?
We would be doing this in the Fifth Avenue side of the block between Fifth and Madison, and so we would not reach down to the. It's only that only block closed would be between Fifth and Madison on 90th, and we have oriented our program activities towards the Fifth Avenue side, so away from residential buildings and one block from the garage, which is on Madison.
Okay, so there's no access issues on 90th with any garages on the street?
No, thank you for the question. No.
No. And let me just confirm, your food services will be provided by restaurants, no food trucks?
No food trucks, yeah, prepared by restaurants.
Okay, all right, thank you very much.
Any more questions? I mean, anybody else have a question?
We have a question from Barbara. Confirm unmuting.
Okay.
I'm now okay, thank you.
No, I mean Barbara Rudder. Sorry.
Oh, I'm a Barbara too.
I know.
Good.
The less important Barbara. I move to accept this application.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I didn't hear anybody else, so I guess
Okay, the next
I guess
item
we can
on,
go to the next one.
Do you
next item on the
want excuse me, do you want us using our virtual hands? Or how do you?
What about the Sayada? Saida, what about, do you see
Yes.
the hands?
Yes, I did see several virtual hands.
Cause just raise your hand.
Michelle and Barbara and Wilma, we do actually have a question from the public on that application.
Okay.
Ms. Cheryl, she's been trying to wave at us.
Okay, go ahead, please.
I just want to understand as a baseline that they mentioned having COVID issues
Can you say your
covered.
name?
And-
Wait, can you say
I'm
your
sorry,
name?
my name is Cheryl Chocholo. And I just want to understand what the COVID compliance is for these outdoor street festivals that everyone needs to adhere to.
So
It's
what
just
we've
a general
done.
background question.
We weren't
Sure.
told, so I don't know.
Oh, we're glad to answer that, and we appreciate the question from Cheryl. You know, we've been part of the Open Streets Initiative. My colleague Amory Whitaker submitted the application last summer, and so we've been doing outdoor events on 90th Street as part of that initiative since last summer. And we as a whole community, but certainly when we're outdoors, reflect a couple things. We are distanced, we are masked, and in terms of food service, it's all contained. And so, I mean, they're pretty simple things we've done, but what we've done over the course through open streets with, well, gosh, dozens of events, has kept both our community and the wider community safe. And so that's been a very important part of what we've been doing since the pandemic began.
All right, thank you.
Okay, the next item is graduation reception, Yorkville East Middle School, full street closure of East 77th Street between York and Cherokee Place, Thursday, June 24th, from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Is there a presentation, please?
Hi, I am Matthew Chook, the representative from the organization that applied for this street closure.
Which organization? The school?
That is correct. That would be Yorkville East Middle School, MS 177 PTA. So we have applied for a permit to close off, as you just mentioned, East 77th between York Avenue and Cherokee Place. This would be in the afternoon from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Thursday, June 24th. It is strictly for the purpose of overflow after graduation, which will take place on that day a little bit earlier. There will be a reception in the school yard, which is part of PS 158's building. And just due to social distancing measures, we would like to have the street to be able to utilize just for, again, overflow due to the amount of people that we are expecting, and hopeful that more people would be able to attend if we do have this ancillary space. We are not looking to do anything with the street in terms of any setup or therefore any breakdown. We will not be amplifying any sound. We will not have any tables, furniture, chairs, nothing. It is strictly just for overflow from the schoolyard onto 77th Street.
So like a reception?
May or may not.
Would
I'm
it be
sorry?
a reception?
The reception will be previous to this. So this would kind of be after the reception. Just kind of like, there will be some, I want to say, refreshments, although we're still trying to figure that out, again, which would all take place in the schoolyard. We just want to have the ability to have some extra space so that more people would be able to attend. And perhaps if there were some of the families with students that are moving on, 8th graders, that might be hesitant to come just due to the pandemic and not being able to social distance, we thought this would be a great way to make sure that everybody would be able to attend.
Any questions from the public?
No raised hands from the public, but we do have a raised hand from Michelle.
And
let's go to the public first, please.
We don't have any raised hands from the public.
I have a question too.
Go ahead, Wilma.
Go ahead.
What I would like to know is, this is open to the public, right?
This is not open to the public. This
Why not?
Is strictly, I'm sorry?
It's not open to the public?
Well,
This is strictly for space to close a block off, full street closure between York Avenue and Cherokee Place, and you say it's not open to the public.
Well, the street would be open to the public. I'm not sure that there would be any. I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about our event. So I don't know that anybody would want to attend our event from the public. This would strictly be for families of the graduating students of 8th graders that are moving on. The street, we don't need to do anything on the street. So people.
But you want it closed off though.
We want it closed off from vehicular traffic so that people can stand in the street. But that's all they'd be doing, standing and socializing.
As usual, we don't allow anything that's not open to the public. I think this is
Right.
this is a little different because it's just an overflow crowd, in my opinion.
Correct. It's just ancillary space, if you will, to the schoolyard, to ensure again that we are able to social distance, because I think with the number of graduating students and their families that would be attending, again, we just want to ensure that there's 6 feet of space between each, family, I guess, if you will. And it's possible we may not even need a lot of the space, or we may not need the full time. There is, as you know, this is Cherokee Place. This is somewhat of how do I say it? I don't want to call it a cul-de-sac, right? Because it's not really, but it is somewhat of a lower vehicular traffic street, just due to the fact that there's only it's really just for parking, I guess, if you will, or to make go around the block. But you have John Jay Park at the end of the block there. Obviously, we want everybody to go to John Jay, so they're able to go through 77th Street to get to the park and do whatever they need to do. I don't know that they would want to stay there and hang out, I guess, if that's what you were referring to. But yeah, I guess it's open to the public. We're not closing it off.
Well,
to any...
I see your hand, Michelle. Michelle.
Thank you. Let me just ask you, Matthew, while your rationale for having some extra space would make some sense, it doesn't seem, the problem with your 6 feet of distancing has to do with your interior, not with your schoolyard. So you are inviting the same amount of people to this graduation as you would be inviting no matter how little or how much space you had. Your adjustment has to be made inside at the graduation. If you're having a graduation that is too crowded, and the fact that these people can be in an open space following the actual event is really of no benefit. And if you are creating your event so that it is socially distanced, et cetera, then you're limiting the amount that you're inviting, and that the social distancing would already be in place in your schoolyard. So frankly, I don't really see the need for this. I mean, it might be a nicety, but your arrangements that you are making for social distancing or whatever COVID related arrangements you're going to make, you already have to make for your interior. Your exterior is irrelevant. And your schoolyard would then provide more than enough space for your families to socialize following the event. So, I mean, it's a school, and I like to be very open, for schools and want to give them everything they can. But frankly, your rationale for this doesn't seem to hold up for me.
Okay, may I respond to that, please?
Sure, I'd like to hear
Thank you for your comments. Perhaps it wasn't clear. The ceremony will not take place in the school building. It cannot at this time.
Where will it be?
In the schoolyard. The ceremony will take place in the schoolyard.
Okay.
So that's where the students will, walk up to the principal, who will hand them a certificate or a diploma, if you will, and they move off to the side, and they'll keep calling them one by one.
Where is your ceremony usually?
It would be in the school. Okay. Either in that school, actually, if you want to know the truth, it's typically in Wagner.
Okay, but in other words,
as most schools, we've unfortunately lost a percentage of our population. So it's a little bit smaller this year. We might have actually been able to hold it inside the school, but we cannot. We're not permitted to. No schools are. I don't know if you're aware.
So good. So I understand that. So you need an exterior alternative, which is fine. And are you able?
It's just the extra space, yes.
And are you able to have your whole population by doing that?
We are. This would. So look, we'll have to be limited in the number of attendees. So obviously the students would be there. We would love always to invite, parents, grandparents, siblings, as many family members that want to and can attend. Obviously, there are times when we're have, space constraints. And again, that may even be in Wagner. However, again, given the circumstances, we have to do it outside. And we just felt to ensure that every student's family members can come and attend and feel comfortable in doing so, because it's not even just about having that space, having the ability for them to attend, but would they feel comfortable? Because we do know that there are some of our population and family members might not want to attend, and there would be no way for us to do this virtually. In other words, we can't have any sort of live stream, or
I
we don't
understand.
have the technical capacity for it. So
Yeah, let me just follow up if I may.
please. Sure.
Typically in a graduation, a family usually gets anywhere from 2 to 4 tickets, depending on capacity.
That's
so
correct.
let's say you're able to accommodate them. If you're having the ceremony in the schoolyard and you're looking for spillover, it may very well be that your spillover will be on 77th Street during the course of the ceremony. Now, why that's a problem is for 2 reasons. Traditionally, we don't like to usually have graduations on the street. I could maybe live with that this year because of extenuating circumstances. However, closing the street to the public would be one thing if everything was in the schoolyard and you just wanted some spillover after the ceremony. But what you're suggesting is that more people can and will attend if there is spillover into the street. That now makes it a private event. And that means that you don't want, people wandering into your graduation or even standing there or taking up street space for your graduation. That's a private thing. So frankly, I'm a little concerned about this. I would suggest that you do everything you can to confine the actual events within the schoolyard. And then my feeling is, because Cherokee Place and 77th Street is such a low traffic area, that if there was spill out for socializing after the event were totally completed, that the sidewalks and that whole area, the length of the school, would be a safe gathering place. But if you want to use the street for the spillover for the graduation and then call it private, that really is not something that we usually condone.
So thank you for that. And you have extremely valid points. I appreciate all of your commentary and points that you raised, because I will admit they are extremely valid. So thank you for asking. This is really just for, so you're right. And we wouldn't expect, look, the truth is we don't know yet, right, exactly the numbers of people that we are going to have that plan on coming. Knowing that we have some extra space to spill out onto in the street is helpful, more specifically for post handing out of diplomas and certificates, right? So when that is all said and done, again, there's typically like a congregation that occurs with lots of, family getting together, picture taking, kids taking pictures of the kids, taking pictures of the family. This is what that space would kind of be used for. So again, it's really after the fact. If you don't feel that this is, if this is a private event, or this encumbers onto the street in a way that we should not be doing, look, we will, I guess, quote unquote, take our chances, right? That there's not going to be a lot of vehicular traffic happening during that time. And, if we're in the street and a car does come down and, we would move out of the way or move back. Given the low vehicular traffic on the street, we honestly, frankly, didn't think that it was a big deal to be able to close the street off for 3 hours when there's really just one residential building. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's 2 major residential buildings, if you will, that are on the street. We've informed those buildings, by the way, and specifically the management companies of those buildings about this. Well, of course, when I was posting up all of the notices for tonight's meeting. But I will also say, which I came to find out after the fact, given the uncertainty surrounding permits, right, and the viability of getting any permits for any type of event, for that matter, I did find out after submitting this one that the DOE, the Department of Education, actually has a separate option, I guess, if you will, for schools that were looking to do graduations or any sort of ceremonies. It was after the fact. I've spoken to Kathy and from the office, the street activity permit office at City Hall, and she just said, just go with your current permit, or application, I should say, which is what this is, what I'm speaking to here. So look, that's all I can say. This is not something that if people from the public wanted to come and stand there from the outside and watch people, our 8th graders go up and get their certificate, we don't have a problem with it. I'm not sure I wouldn't think that anybody would want to do that, but perhaps there's people just that are interested in seeing kids graduate, and if that's the case, then
Good.
so be
Let me
it.
just ask you 2 more questions, then I'm done.
Sure.
Number 1, are there any garages on that street?
Down.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
No garages.
No, there is a building that has a circular driveway.
Yeah. There
Okay,
aren't
so
any.
is that blocked off in any way? If you were to
No.
close the street?
No, we don't want to like remove cars for parking. Like we don't,
No, I understand.
they should
but I'm
remain
saying,
parked
so
on the
you
street.
wouldn't interfere with the circular driveway. Those
Not at
people
all.
could pull in and out if they had to.
Absolutely.
Okay, the second question is you talked about maybe you're thinking about, you're not quite sure, you might have some refreshments, et cetera, et cetera.
Mhm.
But that would have to be in the schoolyard.
Correct. That would all be like served in the schoolyard, right?
Okay.
If
And then you would be responsible for cleanup if those cups or whatever came back
Of
on
course.
77th
Of
Street.
course, we don't anticipate, by the way, that anything is coming outside of the schoolyard, because the way it would work is that if there are some sort of, and again, it's something that we really have to figure out, considering the pandemic, any sort of refreshments, it wouldn't be done where typically see at a party, right, where everybody runs to the bar at the start of the party. This is where it would kind of be coordinated, if you will, where we have people come up, they get a refreshment, a drink, what have you. They stand there for a little bit, and then they can go out onto the street and hang out there and take some pictures or whatever they're doing. So,
Thank you. You've answered my questions. Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say, if we approve this, this is a unusual year, so you should understand this is not, we don't want graduations in any other year. If we do approve it, it's because of the pandemic, and we understand that you're trying to make proper accommodations.
Correct. I appreciate that. And just so you know, we would not want to. We typically have a bigger
We know, we do.
grade, exactly. All that. I mean, look, I haven't been able to do my street permit on the 5-borough bike tour day, right? I come before you every year, except for last year, for the last 10 years for my PS 267 street closure for our spring fling, which you've been so kind to grant us permission to do for the last 10 years. And so unfortunately, we can't do that. I'm not coming to you next month or this month with that permit. In fact, I was saying how odd it is to see only 5 applicants on today's meeting. Because
we had
on the
another-
agenda, I'm used to 30 or 35, and
We had a meeting last month. We approved some last month.
I'm somewhere between 30 and 35, so I usually have to sit and listen to everybody first, which I actually love doing. So, yeah, no, we would love to be able to go back to Wagner. Frankly, we would have loved to even take a piece of John Jay Park. With so many schools in the neighborhood, it's almost an impossibility to get the permit for John Jay Park, even for a couple of hours, because many of them have already done so, and there's just not enough space there. So this is what we thought was the best option for everybody without compromising the community negatively for any length of time. in any other way than just to utilize their street. Don't want to remove any cars. The cars should stay there. Somebody needs to pull out. They're capable of doing so. We're not blocking anybody. And that's really the point of our, as you said, it's really just for social distancing during this time of uncertainty. And last year we weren't able to do anything. Thankfully, we can have something this year. We wish the New York City Department of Education would have provided us with a little bit more information a little bit earlier, a little more guidance, I should say.
We have the same frustrations, so it's okay.
I'm sure you do. It's
Any other questions or comments?
We have a raised hand from Barbara. Barbara Rudder, you're unmuted.
I know it's not me. Okay, Barbara.
Thank you.
I'm not. Okay, you're now. I want to say I think this was a big deal made over very little. I actually commend you for thinking so far ahead about the health and welfare of the children and people and everything else. This is a very small street, a street that has very few cars going. If you spent any time there, really what you could have done is just told people, whisper, go to John Jay Park and stand there. Anybody's allowed to go to John Jay Park. And the idea that you're coming for a permit, I commend you for it. And it's for a short time and people standing, and it's not like a regular graduation that would shut off the street from people too. This is if I want to walk by there while there's the graduation, you're not going to stop me from doing it if I'm on the way someplace else. So I guess I can't now.
No, you can't make
somebody else, I hope, does, because I certainly would. And I certainly, I'm glad you just didn't tell people to go to John Jay Park, on the sly and are doing it the right way.
Okay,
thank you very much. I appreciate those comments. And you just reminded me, I think that there's a Community Board 8 member who resides on that block as well.
Sure, Sarah.
Too.
Sarah.
Yep.
Any
a
other
good friend, Sarah.
Comments? Anybody want to make a motion?
Well, I do, but can I?
Yes, you can now.
I make a motion to accept this application.
To approve it.
Approve it.
Is there a second? Is there a second? I can't second. I'm chairing this.
Michelle seconds.
I see your hand. There's a second. Okay. Anybody who doesn't want to approve this, indicate on raise your hand. Anybody?
Abstain. I'm abstaining.
Okay, Wilmer's abstaining. Anybody else not voting for cause or abstaining?
There are no other raised hands.
Okay, no other raised hand. Thank you.
Barbara,
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Can I just suggest that in the resolution that somehow
There's no resolution. There was a resolution, was there?
We approved it. Yes, there was a motion to approve.
Wilma.
She's talking about a resolution.
No, she's saying in the resolution.
Means.
Excuse me, let me just finish, Barbara. If in the whereas, we can just make that unusual times. But it doesn't set a precedent, let's put it that way.
Okay, we said.
I'm sure you can find the wording.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Wilma, you want to do the next?
Okay, the next is Nightingale Banford Alumni Reunion and the Spook Street closure at 92nd Street between 5th Avenue and Madison on Monday, June 7th from 3 to 6. Is there a representative to give this information about this alumni reunion?
Yeah, both applicants are present and they're unmuted.
Okay. Go ahead, please. May I have your name?
Sure. My name is Paul Burke. I'm the head of school at Nightingale, and grateful for our time before you today. Thank you. This event that we are presenting before you today centers on the class of 2020 from Nightingale. So that class left for spring break and were never allowed back in their building. So they have already graduated. Their diplomas indicate that they graduated in June of 2020. They have expressed a desire to come back and tied to a school that they weren't able to see from March 8th until the end of the year. We have, and so our request is to have a alumni reception for the class of 2020. And there are no, John could go with more detail as to what the actual event would entail, but there's no, the street remains open to the public. There is no music, there's no food. It just, we want to be able to socially distance the parents of the class of 2020 so that when the students come out of the school, there's the opportunity to take a picture, which they never had a chance to do for their commencement, which was supposed to be in June of 2020. So it's an informal gathering. We just like Matthew and his request, the desire to do this is really around social distancing on the street. We worry about crowding if we didn't have a chance to have access to the street for a few hours. So that's what has us before you today.
Okay, the other person who's going to speak. You have two people.
Yes, my name is John Ulmer. I'm the Director of Operations. And I just wanted to say that we're taking all the types of precautions that we need to take in order to socially distance everyone. We have floor markers. We have hand sanitizing stations. 85% of our current population in our school is vaccinated.
85% of our faculty and staff.
Faculty and staff, correct.
So for our entire population.
Yep. So, we want to be safe. We want to be able to have the students come back and see the school again, but we want to do it safely. And we don't feel that we can do it safely in the school.
Okay. Any questions from the public?
I do see one raised hand from Michelle. No members of the public have raised their hands.
Okay, go ahead, Michelle.
Okay, just verifying. So you're having no food, you're having no music, aside from people just talking and gathering and whatever. Any other function that will happen on the streets aside from just a population being there? Chairs, tables, anything?
We were considering having chairs for people that need them, for people that need assistance.
Grandparents.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And that's it. So there's no activity on the street at all.
No activity on the street.
Well, I would be happy to approve this, but again, with any of these resolutions, I'm just reiterating just so that it's on the record, just to say that this is only because these are extraordinary times, and we certainly want those kids to have the ability to see each other for last time in front of their own school. So I would support it, but again, with those provisos, because I usually do not like graduations. I feel that schools should be able to provide that for themselves, but we all understand this is a different time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And also, I like the fact that you did say, it's open to the public. So. If there are no more questions, is there a move to approve or what?
Move to approve.
Okay, anybody seconding it?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Are you doing a positive or negative vote?
Either one.
If somebody indicate if they want to vote no or abstain. Or not vote for cause.
So it seems like it's been approved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, you're welcome.
Alan Stevenson 2021 graduation celebration. Full street closure, East 78th Street between Park Avenue and Lexington Avenue. Tuesday, June 8th from 4:30 to 6:30. Is there somebody to do the presentation, please?
Yes, so good evening, everyone, and thank you, Community Board 8, for your time. My name is Krista Serbo. I am the Director of Security at the Alan Stevenson School, which, as mentioned, is located on 78th Street between Park and Lexington Avenues. On Wednesday, June 9th, our eighth graders are graduating, and we'd like to give them and their parents a special send-off the evening before on Tuesday, June 8th from 4:30 to 6:30. So in order to set up and break down for the event, we are looking for a street closure from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the evening of Tuesday, June 8th. We do plan on having music, some socially distanced games, and some light food and beverage. We have applied to the 19th precinct for a sound permit. We will be following all COVID restrictions and guidelines. I will be there along with my school security staff, and we'll be working with our neighbors if they need anything regarding the event.
Is the public invited? Open to the public?
Well, our neighbors are invited. It's not open to the public, but our neighbors are invited on 78th Street from Park to Lex.
What if somebody wants to walk down the block? They can't walk down the block?
No, they're more than welcome to walk down the block. We're just looking to have the vehicles detoured at Park Avenue.
But our rules are they have to be open to the public.
I have an issue if it's not open to the public and you're closing up, you want to close up the whole street to accommodate your celebration.
Well, the event will be open to the public. I don't know if anybody will want to attend an eighth grade graduation celebration, but technically it is open to the public.
Okay, now you're serving.
Anybody from the public want to speak, please? We'll ask for questions.
There are no raised hands from the public.
Okay, Wilma, go ahead, please. I'm sorry.
What I would like to know is, you said you're serving light refreshments, and what else are you serving? And where is the food coming from?
Yes, I can speak to that. So we will be serving light refreshments that will be coming.
Please. Say your name, please.
Oh, I'm Jen Ziplow, and I'm a Special Events and Alumni Relations Associate at the Allen Stevenson School.
Okay, thank you.
We will be serving some pizza from our kitchen. So our services from the school will be providing servers, and we'll be serving that. And then we have also contracted, once this is determined, a donut truck to be serving donuts.
And also another question is, I have an issue with this because it's not open to the public and you're having pizza and you're serving other things that I'm sure the other people that are walking on near the area of that block would like to have pizza and something to drink, and they're not allowed to because they're not part of your organization. So this is a problem for me.
Well, like we've mentioned tonight, this evening many times, the students who are graduating, they've been out of school a large period of time. They've had a difficult time, and we were looking to giving them a nice event. We didn't want to do it indoors because it was confined, and so they're very excited about doing it on the street. If technically, as far as the application is concerned, we have to open it to the public. The street will be open to the public, absolutely.
Okay. Do you have a space inside to have anything, any celebration inside the school at all?
Well, we do have the space inside the school, but we're going to have about 100, 125 people. So with COVID restrictions, we'd rather have it. It's much more healthier to have it out on the street.
I see.
Have it outside.
And currently, in terms of our ability of the school, our COVID policy is we've had no guests allowed. So no parents have been allowed in the school all year long. And so this is a way for the parents to see one another, but to not break the rules that we've been having about having guests outside the students and faculty and staff.
As we said before, if we do approve this, you understand it's only for this year and we can't be duplicated next year.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll be finished with COVID by.
Yes, we certainly understand that.
Understood. We actually have an 8th grade parent on here with us, Mr. Drew Cohen. I don't know if Drew wants to say anything.
I would. I mean, if I may, I live a block and a half away on 77th Street, and I know this street is been closed in the past. They close it for Halloween celebrations, not the school, but the block has permission to close it at times. These kids, just to echo a little bit of what Mr. Acerbo said, have been schooling in pods. They've been back in school, but have also been able to school outdoors. And their graduation, just because of the extreme, not even adherence to COVID restrictions, but going above and beyond that the school has implemented, prevents siblings and extended family from attending the graduation the next day. And it's a really, this is a really nice opportunity for the community to take advantage of what the CDC has dictated in terms of outdoor guidelines and being able to celebrate what has been a 9-year journey for a lot of these kids that's culminating with a graduation that understandably all they can bring is not even siblings, but can bring their 2 parents or guardians to the event. So I know that this is probably, a lot of these requests might seem exceptional, but to the community, I know they're not going to be intrusive and would be very much appreciated by the entire parent body in school. So just speaking as one who's already heard from other parents who live on that block and around the neighborhood, how much of a positive thing this would be. Thank you.
Anybody else wants to say anything? Board members, questions or comments?
Michelle, you're unmuted.
Thank you. Yeah, where is your graduation?
Graduation will be at 583 Park.
Oh, at the old church.
Yes.
Okay. So that's where the ceremony is.
Mm-hmm.
And all right. Well, I can understand why you don't want to rent that again the night before.
Yeah, we can't afford to do that, to be totally transparent with you.
I get that. I have a concern. I routinely do not approve things that use truck vending. I like to use neighborhood restaurants or food services. If you're serving donuts, we've got 1 million Dunkin' Donuts here in the neighborhood. I would be absolutely opposed to a truck vendor.
Michelle, I really appreciate your concern there. And frankly, I agree in supporting local. The unique difficulty that we have is that Allen Stevenson as a community has to be completely nut-free. So we need to provide, so we can't unfortunately ever cater anything from Dunkin' Donuts or I don't know that there's any donut place in the community, because I've reached out to quite a few that can guarantee nut-free. This donut truck has worked with other schools on the Upper East Side in the past, and they are nut-free, which is why we have selected them.
Are you saying that and I'm not sure, I'm asking this, if a donut's next to a nut, that could be dangerous? So even if they give you donuts, I never heard this before.
Yeah, so we have many a student who have deathly, like severe peanut or nut allergies.
No, I understand that. And I know that proximity or if something's made in a facility where there are nuts, that's a risk. I get that. And I thank you for clarifying that. Let me ask you this. Have you reached out to any other providers that can and do provide nut-free products?
From in the community or generally? I have reached out to, we reached out to the ice cream truck to see if they could provide them as well.
Not the trucks. Have you?
Not a truck, just I haven't directly, but we could be open to using another vendor if need be. The biggest concern for us is there are a few vendors in the area specifically for desserts that are nut-free, nut-free vendors.
Well, there's a gluten-free bakery on Lexington between 84th and 85th.
I don't believe they're nut-free. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
But they
have one on the west side too. Yeah.
They may be able to accommodate you, because that would be my first preference. The second thing would be, if you find the only place you can really get nut-free donuts is this truck, then I would encourage you to have them bake them or do whatever off premises and bring them to you.
They do. Yeah, they bring.
There should not be a truck on the street.
You're requesting that there's no truck on the street, not that. Part of the benefit of the truck for us is the social distancing measures.
What does that have?
So
to
that there's fewer interaction with the truck providers and the students or
you can
anybody.
manage that with tables, and some people are online. You only let a few at the table at one time. You'd have to do the same. You'd have the same monitoring with the truck on the street. I mean, in general, some of these trucks, most of them are not so community friendly. A lot of them, when they're not doing an event like yours, they are not necessarily compliant with vendor law. Their motors run for the whole time. It's not the best scenario. It's not something we encourage. We like to use bricks and mortar. They're the ones paying the rents, the insurance. They're the ones that have had a big problem during COVID and also face a lot of competition that makes their lives miserable all year round, even when there's no COVID. So I really feel very strongly about giving them the business. And if you can find, I would imagine, places like Magnolia or some others that may be able to accommodate you, if you would explore this further. But if not, I think you get the same social distancing if that vendor sends his donuts in on trays and you monitor a line up at a table to get them. Same line that you would have to monitor if it was at a truck. But I mean, that's my feeling. Otherwise, I am really not happy about this. Ordinarily, we would never approve a private graduation party on the street to start with. That would be a no-brainer any other time of the year. But, you know, we're trying to be accommodating, but we don't want to break all our rules if there's an option not to.
Michelle, I really do appreciate everybody from CB8's accommodation, because truly this isn't something that we would typically do. This is typically an indoor celebration that we do. And what's a little bit more unique to us this year is that the parents really have not been able to see each other at any type of school sanctioned event. They haven't even been allowed in our building to see our new gym or anything like that. I'm totally open to exploring other local opportunities. It just has to be nut-free restrictions. And I will tell you that we have had issues in the past of finding vendors that could accommodate us, but we are certainly happy to explore other options.
Okay, if you could get back to us on that. This is not going to have a final vote until our full board meeting, which is not until next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, okay.
Yeah, so if you could give the board office some feedback on this, that they would be, I'm sure, happy to pass along to the committee, that would be very helpful.
Okay. And I will say, Michelle, also, we will be serving, I believe, some local pizza as well from our beloved pizza place across the street on Don Filippo's, which is beloved by all our boys.
Local store, that's great. I'm happy to see you patronize them. They need it.
Oh, we love them. We've bought many a pizza from them.
Okay, they do well. I order from there all the time. They do well. You know, it's interesting.
So that's fine. It would only be pizzas and donuts. That's all you're doing.
We'll have some soft drinks, but that's it.
Okay, so check on that donut thing. Thank you very much.
You know, it's
If I just adding one thing, I really, Ms. Birnbaum, I appreciate your concern as someone who grew up in this neighborhood. I am very supportive of the local community. The only thing I would say is if for some reason the nut-free thing, because I have a good friend whose son is very allergic and has had a hard time finding a bakery near my office on 53rd Street. I found a bakery and they just went out of business last year because of COVID. It's very hard. But what I would just point out to the whole community board is one of the benefits of assuming that this were allowed, and using Don Filippo just made me think of this, all of those parents who are going to this event, when it's over, are going to be in the neighborhood. So they are going to take their kids and their families to a proper dinner, to a snack afterwards. So it will have a halo effect around the neighborhood, at least, even if they end up having to get donuts brought in from a specialized nut-free place. So it's good for the neighborhood as well. Not everyone lives in the area.
The neighborhood, and they will be doing that, and they will have pizza. If you can't accommodate with the donuts, you may just want to eliminate the donuts.
The kids like donuts.
Anyway, I welcome hearing your response before next Wednesday. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else comments or questions?
We don't have any other raised hands.
Okay, anybody want to make a motion? Any board member want to make a motion? There's no motion?
I make a motion to wait to hear back from them because I'm really feeling uncomfortable with this.
I have no days that we can meet before next Wednesday again.
Okay.
There's no motion? Okay, well,
Okay, we have a raised hand from Barbara Rudder.
Barbara Rudder? Barbara,
Yes.
are you making a motion?
Yes, I'm making a motion to approve.
I'll second, to what? What's the motion?
To approve.
Okay, thank you. I'll second it with the conditions that they will try to find, they will work to get a place to meet Michelle's request before next Wednesday.
Thank you very much.
Well, you need to vote. I'll abstain until we hear back from you.
Okay.
I'm very happy to change my vote at the full board.
Okay. Anybody else not voting? Voting no?
I would like to, I'm waiting, I'm abstaining also. I'm waiting for the full board.
Okay,
And I may change my vote then.
okay. Say how many yeses do we have then? I don't have the list of who's.
It looks like we have 2 yeses.
And 2 abstentions, so the motion does not pass. Okay, we'll hear it, that we'll present it to the full board meeting next Wednesday.
Okay, next we have.
2 and 2 means it doesn't pass. Abstentions count as no vote, not approving. Okay,
All right, this the next is PS 290. This is the Manhattan New School PTA block party. They would like to have a full street closure at East 82nd Street, 82nd Street, between 2nd and 1st Avenue on Tuesday, June 8th, from 9 to 2 o'clock. Is anybody here to present this from 290?
Yes.
Hi.
He's unmuted.
Yes, hi, my name's Ashley Lavin. I'm one of the PTA co-presidents at PS 290 on East 82nd Street. PS 290 is a great school, a wonderful school. It is a very small school. We are very limited as to space inside. And so what we are hoping to do at this block party is have a graduation celebration open completely to the public. So that we can have kids get their diplomas in the street. We'll have some music. We will not have any food. And just a way to celebrate the year getting to where we are, and also to send a message to the surrounding community that PS 290 is open for business and a great place to go to school. As I think anyone here can speak to, we lost a lot of families this year. We are down about 25% in our enrollment. And so our hope is by having this kind of celebration and showing people what kind of community we are, that we will become a very attractive option for people in the neighborhood. We chose June 8th, I would like to say June 8th is a day that is technically a school day for us, except kids aren't in the building. And so because it's technically a school day, technically the street is already closed. But we are asking for removal of cars in front of the school building so that we can safely social distance and actually have members of the community come in. I've measured between, it gets pretty narrow with cars on either side of the street. I think you get 15 feet if you have 2 sedans on either side of the street. But if you can remove the cars, then it's a little bit better. Members of the public will be able to walk through. We'll have social distancing signs. We'll have obviously masks. And I'm happy to answer any other questions. I'm joined today by some other parents at the community as well. I think I see 3 or 4, so we can all, there they are. So we can all answer any questions that you have.
All right, thank you.
You're still remote, you're not open for classes yet? I thought the schools were all open.
No, we are fully open for classes, but we do not have space inside of the building to host any kind of graduation celebration or ceremony. We don't have a gym, we don't have an auditorium. We do have a cafeteria that is now currently 3 second grade classrooms. We have a smaller 4th grade flex space or 4th floor flex space that is now 4th grade classrooms. We have 2 very small yards in the back of our building. We can't fit all 74 of our kids in there, let alone have parents witness their children getting a diploma. So,
thank you.
Any questions from the public?
We have a comment from the public here. You're unmuted.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Randy Mason. I am one of the 5th grade delegates to the PTA. I've been working with Ashley for many years. I would just like to add that, couple of things about the street. So the street is always closed on school days. And a portion of the parking spots are reserved for DOE employees. And we've already spoken with the teachers and they're amenable to not parking there for the day. So we chose June 8th because we already had this space in place and we didn't want to inconvenience the neighborhood or the teachers, to be honest, on the weekends. I would also say, just to add, that we've investigated so many other options. We looked at Randall's Island, we looked at Asphalt Green, we even looked at locations outside the city, fully remote celebrations, and taking all the factors into account, we just felt like this was the best, safest option that was accessible to the most members of our school community, and so that's why we're.
All right, thank you. Anybody else from the public?
We have no other questions from the public.
All right, Michelle, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Where does your graduation usually take place?
Usually takes place at the 92nd Street Y, which obviously it's an indoor facility. We can't.
Right. Okay, but you usually have an alternative. Is
Yes,
this
we want to go back. We want to go back. So we will not. We don't expect this next year.
So is this a middle school or a
elementary school?
Excuse me.
Elementary school.
Elementary with 70 students.
70 fifth grade students, 75 fifth grade students.
Oh, they graduate. Yeah, okay. Now, no music, no food. So the only thing that'll be on the street.
We did apply for a sound permit for music, and it was approved by the 19th precinct. We got that word today. So that has that. Are asking
one of your representatives just said no food, no music.
No food, but yes, yes, please music.
But yes, music. Okay, what kind of music are you anticipating?
We would like some ceremony music at the start of the day, and then we would like some pop music, but we can play it at the right level, and it would be at a time when usually there are children playing in the street and screaming, and I have a feeling our neighbors might prefer the pop music to the kids in the street.
Okay. So you're basically set up graduation style, rows of chairs, a podium up front, microphone, that kind of thing. You're set up for a graduation and for the kids walking down the aisle. You're having that kind of a auditorium setup, I should say.
We're looking to see if we can accomplish that within our financial parameters. What we would do, we would have a podium. The podium would be this, I don't know if you're familiar with our building, it has stairs. So our principal would give a brief speech and kids would walk up to the stairs at the stoop in the front to collect their
diplomas.
Their diplomas, yes. We would like to have chairs. Not all of our parents are able to stand even for a 20-minute ceremony.
Yes, correct.
So,
okay.
All right, I understand that.
Thanks.
So same considerations apply for you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody else from the board?
We have no other raised hands.
I have a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Anybody opposed or not voting for cause or abstaining, indicate it.
No indication.
Okay.
Thank you. It's been approved.
Under old business, say.
Okay.
Do we
Thank
know
you.
if a final
Thank you.
decision was made about the street fairs that we approved last month or a couple of weeks?
We don't know about a final decision. SAPO has been denying applications, so we're
Oh,
just
they had-
keeping
so
it.
the ones we approved that I was concerned about, that's why I abstained at the full board meeting, because we didn't have information.
Yes, they denied a few of them. No, I think they're waiting on the official reopening of the city. That's potentially,
Well, but some of them are happening before the full opening of the city.
yes,
What happens to them? We still don't. Can you try to find out what's happening with them?
I can try, sure.
Thank you, because I'm really concerned about that we voted and we don't know what's happening.
Well, they did approve some, she said. We could find out which ones they approved.
We approved it, not SAPO.
She did say SAPO.
No, SAPO denied the
not yet?
applications
Okay.
that we approved, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Please let us know. Any other old business? Any new business?
No raised hands.
Okay. Now, do we just stay on for the next meeting?
No, you leave and enter through the other link.
The meeting don't start at 6:30.
Correct.
I need a break.
6:15. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, second. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Talk to you later.
Half hour.
Bye.
Bye.